Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Dissecting Design. I am turning back the clock to take a look at quite possibly one of the, biggest diamond in the rough games I've played in some time. This is Hinterland by Tilted Mill Entertainment. And for the longest time, this was the closest a game got to being absolutely perfect for me. And if it wasn't for XCOM Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2, Hinterland would probably still have that mantle today. This is a game that, quite frankly, is very interesting to study because of why it failed. And normally when we talk about why a video game failed, it's because the developers didn't add in everything they wanted to, there were issues with it, stuff along those lines. Hinterland failed because the developers put exactly what they want into it. And that will be made clear later into this video. Now, because this is an older game, I'm going to try and keep it to as few cuts as possible because I don't know what's going to happen if we keep turning on and off OBS. But Hinterland is a combination of ARPG and city building design. It's also very old, hence why we only have 800 by 600 resolution. The idea is you start the game and you choose your background, and in turn, this will affect your score multiplier at the bottom. As you turn on and off different elements, this will raise the score. Basically, the easier you make the game, the lower your score. And so on and so forth. Gender and stuff like that has no meaning. The only thing that really matters is what you have as your class here. Typically, I like to play someone who has like nothing at all. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things to look at here. This basically starts you off differently. But I'm going to play... Where are you? I had before. Goblin Thief, or Enforcement. There's one class that basically just starts with nothing. And we'll just go with... Yeah, we'll go with the Outlaw. And that will be our set. Again, doesn't matter what our gender is, how our character looks, stuff like that. And I'm going to cut the video here while things load up, and we'll talk more about the basic gameplay in a second. Alright, welcome back. So one thing you missed was some beautiful hand-drawn stills for the loading screens, which sadly don't represent the main game here. So Hinterland is a combination of a city builder with some ARPG elements as well. The idea is we need to build our town, keep our fame up, obviously keep our people fed, and hopefully not get killed. The game features a procedurally generated world with the size depending upon what we set at the beginning. So, the generation is very similar to like very basic levels of procedural generation design, as in we have a set area, and the area itself will be filled with hotspots of interest. And these areas and what we find them are completely different each time we play. It's very similar to what we saw in something like We Happy Few, if you've watched that video. So because I start out with a harder character, I need to get my fame up before we can start delving into the city building side of things. Now, the gameplay on the ARPG side is very basic. It's all pure numbers. Get your weapon or get your attack and defense high enough and nothing can literally touch you. As you take damage and do stuff, you can see the experience bar growing. When it levels up enough, I'll gain additional attack value or defense and stuff like that. So you can see my attack has just went up. And that will also be modified based on the gear that I wear. In order to clear an area, we just have to kill all the enemies in it and they will not come back. And obviously, the more dangerous the enemy, the greater the chance of getting better loot. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to see how the ARPG and the city building kind of create this effective gameplay loop in 1 second. Just so I'm safe, I'll take a potion here. There we go. So what happens is, by securing important areas like a spring or mine, we unlock that resource for our town. This will either improve the quality of the town, or unlock additional things, such as being able to produce a bar, getting more people to join us, stuff like that. Now, when you're back in your town, your health will recover very slowly. Now, our visitors here will stay for a certain period of time. As you can see, here's what they require. So, I don't want them there. They're too expensive, basically. We won't be able to get them here just yet. We can also, if we can't find the resource, we can import it using our gold. Now, a few more people should be showing up in the next minute or so. In terms of the procedural generation, the further we get away from our starting town, typically the more dangerous the mobs will get. So this is a level 2 enemy, so this is going to be pretty tricky. But because I've leveled up a little bit in terms of pure stats, we should be good. Okay. What I'm looking for right now is for a farmer to appear in the upper left. At this stage of the game, I really don't want to fight multiple enemies, if I can help it. Get away from me. You can see a fort right here on the map. That's a heavy area. I cannot fight that on my own. So we will have to save that one for later. Alright, new visitors. So we have an innkeeper. Okay. And a bard. And the different professions will also sometimes provide special bonuses, such as if you get a wizard, or a necromancer, or a healer. Getting a cleric for healing is very key in a game like this. Uh-oh. We got company coming. I'm gonna advertise, see me get a farmer. Jeez. There we go. So I just need 2 more fame, and the reason why I need the extra fame is because I'm starting on the harder setting. Now what should be good is that killing these guys should give me the fame that I need. Get out there, you. Ooh. There you go. We have the fame, which means I can now hire a farmer. Oh, and we got a staff. Good. So the first thing I'm going to do is get that farmer hired, because I need him to start producing some food. Now, anyone that I do hire for my town, I can take out into my party as well. Alright, so we are now at the average here. You can also hire people who are specifically there to protect. I don't need you. And if we wanted to, we can also upgrade the farms. Alright. Now how... Oh yeah, we need to get a manor. So the first thing I'm going to do here... Well, actually, I'm going to hire another farmer. That should give me enough food for right now. We'll upgrade the outpost to a manor. And now, once I get enough gold, I'll be able to upgrade the farm and start getting ahead of the game in terms of food. Now, I'm trying to find some items that actually benefit the town, so we can show off how that loop works. But while we are suffering in food right now, we won't be for much longer. Alright, we leveled up. Basically, when enough of your stats have gone up, you will get a level up. Alright, we got some clothes. And you can see my stats have gone up by wearing it. Every time we level, we can get a new stat to increase. I'll go for health. Ooh, that is really nice. Basically, now I can heal myself anywhere I want. Now, if we head back to town, I can also give items to my various people. Giving items that benefit a building will affect the production of that building as long as someone is working it. But these items are usually consumed after a set period of time. Now, with that row boosting my stats, I should be able to handle most of this early stuff on my own. Now, I probably would want to get a innkeeper next. Alright, you can't handle me. So here's a hoe right here. So by giving it to a farmer, this will improve their output. And I love that kind of core gameplay for Hinterland. That what you do in the town will affect what you do in the battlefield, and then vice versa. And I'll talk more about what that means to me later on in this video. So to show that off, I'm going to head back here. I'm going to hire the innkeeper, or the goodman. This will start to get us some free gold per day. You can see right here. So right now we are averaging the same thing, but we're going to be starting to produce gold, which means I can hire more farmers, as well as upgrade the ones that I have. So I'm going to come down here, and I am going to give this to that, and now you can see we've improved the food rate. You can also do it from here as well. Now then, I say once we can upgrade our farm, we will be good to go. These guys shouldn't be too bad. Get back here, zombie. And once we get further out, we'll start finding more varied items. There's also special items that will unlock new classes. And you can also upgrade your settlements, improving the character themselves and unlocking additional functionality. Beyond just, let's say, getting more gold or more food. Alright, so this guy's going to be a whole lot meatier than the last one. If you look above where I'm at right now, that door, that is a town portal. Now, I could really use a new weapon. And here's a trap that will help trappers out to get us more food. There's another hoe. So we are doing good here. Sometimes the beginning of Hinterland can be rough if you're playing on hardcore mode, but once you know what you're doing, it becomes a lot easier. Because our fame has grown, we have more people. We have some armor, but I can't use it. So we are not there yet. Even though a necromancer would be awesome right now, as well as a high priestess. So I'm going to head back to town. We'll upgrade our farm, and I can actually show off how things work. And we won't be going through this whole thing in this one Dissecting Design, not by a long shot. But what I'm going to do is we'll come to this farm. I am going to upgrade it. And now it produces 4 a day. And we even upgraded a second level. Now, because I have access to fresh water by finding it on the map, we have the option of upgrading it to another tier. But now that we have 4, Basically, we are producing 4 food and we're consuming 4 because we have 3 plus me. Oh, I'm sorry. We're producing 6, probably because of the hoe bonus. So food is starting to come alive. Here, I'm going to give this to Aubrey. Come on. Got some raiders coming. We'll upgrade this farm again. That means we're producing 4 and 4 here. So we should be good on food for quite a bit. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen that before. We have a blacksmith or a craftswoman. And what I would like to do now is actually hire someone to come out into the field with me. Uh-oh. How dare you? And the further we get into the game, the more dangerous these raids will become. There's that. Yep, so we are doing good. I have enough food now coming in that I can have 4 people and still worry about. Oh, we have a request. What is it? We'll do that later. Especially at the rate that I'm going. But as I'm saying, as I said earlier, the core gameplay of Hinterland, again, is about building your settlement up to get yourself followers, as well as unlock better stuff, to then go out into the field to fight, uncover more of the map, which will gain you more options, which you can then take back, or gear to make your followers better. Yeah, so these guys shouldn't be a problem to me. Okay, we have a sword. There we go. Not as good as my weapon, though. But now I am just... And actually, we can wait until the very last day to fulfill this request, just so that we don't have another request coming immediately. Now, before I go out again, I would like to get a follower. And I can show off the basic combat of the game with a team. Like I said, there's not going to be as many cuts to this play, simply because this is an older game and I've had it crash on me a few times in the past. So I don't know what it's going to do with OBS running. But let me just quickly check things out here. And if you missed the piece I said earlier, yeah, the game only has 800 by 600 resolution, so we can't do too much here. So I'm going to... And actually, I can upgrade my bar if I wanted to. But we need more gold. And as I said earlier, a very important part about balancing your settlement with going out into the field is that if someone is not at their structure here, the structure will not produce anything. Now, do we have a forest here? And of course, the higher the level the person is at the start, the more expensive they are as well. Typically, the best strategy I've found is to hire level 1 people early on and keep them alive to cultivate them. So I'm going to take her, and chances are she will not be actually fighting here. Yeah, as you see, we need access to wild game. So I am going to have her come, and now she's in my party. Also, one feature I do like, you can set auto-equip so that everyone will get the best gear that's associated with them. Yeah, so if we were using her in her normal thing, I would keep her with a dagger. That's actually fine. We'll give her the armor. And good. So I can set this to move all the items that I don't need on me over here. We'll turn auto-equip on, and you'll see those items start to get used. Alright, so with her in my party, she's going to be, again, very low level, and characters can die if they take too much damage and they can't escape, you will permanently lose them. But now that she's on my team, she will level up the same way that I do. And I think I can have a max of 4. So another really good party member to get, again, is the cleric, or the priest, who will provide healing to your characters. Because the other way would be to give them potions, which are limited right now. Let's grab the loot. So I'm hoping we'll see a cleric show up. Did we miss something? Oh, to the right. Now, she won't heal like I will, because only the main character gets leveling perks. But we are good for food and resources. Now, the town quality over here will grow as we add more features. Ooh, I think that's our cleric, or acolyte. Yeah, that is going to be very useful. And if I wanted to, we could hire a second person as well. Now, she will start recovering once we're back in town. There we go. Can I think I have enough to improve my bar. No, we need 48. We're almost there. If we had a shopkeeper, I could sell them the items that we don't need. Oh, we're so close. This guy, I don't typically need the guard. Now, I haven't forgotten about our thing right here. Now, one weakness with Hinterland is the fact that if you run out of places to level up and you don't have the gear, there's not much you can do to get around it, because the map is fixed after it's been generated. Gotta be careful here. Now, she's gonna level up pretty quickly if we're fighting level 2 and above enemies. Go. Uh-oh. She may actually die here. Alright, she made it. Look at her run faster than me. But I'll cut the video here and we'll advance a little bit further in, and you can see sort of, I guess, the advanced play, or at least with a full party, in a minute. Alright, so I'm a little bit further ahead. We completed the quest, and you can see I have a cleric. And getting a cleric leveled up will make the rest of the game very trivial, because the higher they get in terms of stats, the more they can heal. As you can see our health on the right there growing. That's from him leveling us up. Don't run. There we go. That extra armor should help out. Get away from me. Ooh, and a special bow. That will be perfect for our hunter as well. And just like in an ARPG, the gear is also tiered, or there's different rarity levels. If you look in the upper right, you'll also notice I have an additional point of town quality because we built a shrine. But we'll go a little bit further now that we can actually make some progress, and then we'll move on to talking a little bit more about kind of what led to Hinterland's downfall, because it is very interesting. Let's see. we've got more people showing up. So we can have them produce weapons and gear. Another farmer. Alright, there she is. So I am going to give her... Oh, I see what happened. Because he did auto-equip, they took the gear. Unfortunately, she needs that more than you guys. 2-1. No, that's fine for him. That will help her out quite nicely. I do want to take that portal over. Someone tells me I forgot to pick up the bow. Oh, don't want to go over there just yet. I'm not sure what happened there. If you get enemy one at a time, it's just a lot easier to deal with them. Now the magic portal, that gives us a fast track right back to our base. Like so. I don't think anyone took it. Ah, he took the bow. That's better. Don't know why a shopkeeper needs a bow, but we'll just leave it like that. But that will also help her out greatly in terms of survivability. There's more armor. And again, you can see her stats leveling up on the right there. Two. Move that on over. War quest now. He wants stone. We may be able to find some here. But yeah, we can upgrade this. Actually, I'm going to upgrade our inn. That will make us get more money. So we're now using 5 a day. We got some beer now, or dining. And we can get access to an estate, we'll get even more money. So we'll have a few more people coming. But typically in terms of progress, you want to deal with the keeps. Because they will just keep sending enemies out to attack your town. Now this should be the stone that we need. And I can fit one more person in my party, and that'll probably be another offensive character. Now, like I said, the ARPG side is very basic. We're not going to be dealing with, you know, specific resistances, elemental kind of damage, and stuff like that. It's basically all about the stats over there. Alright, let's take the quarry over. There's a helmet. That right there. So we have a source of stone, and I can actually let this request sit until the very end and then complete it for the objective. Oh boy. Now, this is going to be very interesting. We're dealing with a level 4. Oh boy. Run! Oh no, I think she got killed. Well, we'll need to get another one. And if someone gets killed, you can just simply replace them. We're very mercenary like that. Let's see, who can we get back into our village? Perfect. Because they already have a town, we just move Lisa in, and we'll take her out. An herbalist would help out in terms of getting some free potions, too. Alright, Lisa, you're coming with me. Probably give her the helmet. Hey. There we go. Still got plenty of food. We're gonna have a craftsman come and build some basic gear. But we are doing alright. We lost a little bit of fame for having the person get killed. But otherwise, this is pretty much par for playing the game on a long, hardcore map. Now, if we come over here to the fort, this should be fairly tricky. Unless you can get them one at a time. Now, she's going to level quite nicely because she's fighting something that's 2 levels above. I can just stay here and let them attack. Okay, so this is for a doctor, if we can build that in our town. Magnifying glass for research, more armor. And you'll see our healer here. Oh, here's a bullhorn for our merchants. So if I give this staff to our cleric, it's going to raise up his healing power dramatically, as you can see. And chances are Lisa is going to level up fairly quickly once we start attacking more of these guys in this base. Oh jeez, but they are very close together. Again, you can pull them apart, which is very hard to do sometimes, because you have no means of really doing it. Which is why sometimes you just need a party to just bum rush. Alright, so she just leveled up again. Kill him. I'll let her just try and get some free experience. There we go. But here's what we'll do to wrap up this part of the play. I'm willing to fight this last group of raiders, and then we will move on and talk a little bit more about kind of what happened to Hinterland in terms of its design. And again, what we can do, like, it would be nice to get a merchant if possible. Undertaker. Herbalist, if we had herbs. If we found a crystal ball, we could unlock the fortune teller. But yeah, this shouldn't be too bad of a fight. And again, the healer just really trivializes a lot of the challenge in this game. Alright, so they're all dead. One hold. Okay, that's nice. That's a 4 staff. Take that. Again, what I would like to do is probably have one more person whose job it is just to come with me on adventures. And 4 fully leveled characters can usually handle anything on the map. So the last thing I'll do here is we will give her some of our gear. You don't need that anymore. The dagger. Give her... Well, she needs something, right? And now she's our 4th party member. But I'm going to head back to the main menu, and I want to talk more about why the game just did not do well. Okay, it's time for my final thoughts, and I want to talk about what kind of led to Hinterland's disaster. As I said at the start, Hinterland is one of my all-time favorite games, and if I had the time, money, and a team, I would love to do an elevated take on this game. But, despite my love for it, Hinterland has some serious problems, especially in terms of variety and content. Both systems, the ARPG side and the city building side, are basic to the point of minimal. Neither system is really fleshed out all that well, and neither one could really stand on its own. Not in the same way as we saw with games like XCOM and Star Control 2. And as I said at the start, there is a very interesting reason why. Hinterland did not have any development problems, the company didn't run out of money, or they overpromised. They put exactly what they want in for Hinterland. And that's the problem. If you look right down here at the copyright date, Hinterland was released in 2008. And at that time, when Chris Beatrice, who was the owner and lead designer of Till Mill, was talking about Hinterland, he had one goal for the game, and that was to deliver a budget title for people to play. And budget meaning $20. And for modern fans watching this video right now, you're probably scratching your heads a little bit. Because $20 today is considered the top of the mark for an indie game for a lot of people. So why would $20 be such a considered shovelware or budgetware back in 2008? And that is because Hinterland came out before the rise of the independent market, before the race to the bottom happened, and essentially before everything that came about with game devaluation came to be. And quite frankly, Hinterland is an idea that probably could have done better as a $40 or $50 game at that time, or a $20 to $30 game today. Because if it was fleshed out more, with more features, more ways of really impacting the city building side, as well as growing the ARPG, the game could have been fantastic. But the problem, again, was when they designed this game, they kept it on the short end of the stick. This wasn't supposed to be a massive game, no matter how interesting the mechanics were. This was supposed to be, again, something for the budget gamer. Unfortunately, by setting their sights so low with Hinterland, what we got was a game that, quite frankly, deserved more. Especially when you're combining systems like this, you need both or as many of the game systems you have in your title to be fleshed out enough to really stand on their own. The same way that we saw with XCOM, and the base building meets the tactical layer. In Hinterland, as you watch over the last 30 or so minutes of this play, the city building really doesn't do all that much. I put a building down and it works. There are no adjacency bonuses, there's no interdependency between the various buildings. I put a farm down, food gets produced, that's it. I put the inn down, we get gold and we get that little town quality, but there's nothing that actually constitutes as city building. I'm simply placing structures down and then the option or their functionality happens immediately. And then on the ARPG side, as I said, there are no skills, there's nothing in terms of complexities of combat, there's no resistances, elemental damages, anything like that. It's just raw numbers, which again, for a basic game, wouldn't be all that bad, but when you're trying to create something that's greater than the sum of its parts, everything has to be working together. And that's a shame because, as I said earlier, the core gameplay loop of Hinterland is sound. Building your city to eventually give you resources and functionality to then take out into the field, to then give you resources and items to improve your town, is a very great gameplay loop. But the game itself just doesn't do enough with it in order to make it worth your while. And that's why, even though I love this game, it is very hard for me to recommend. And again, you can see sort of like, imagine the game had more of this hand-drawn art style rather than the very basic 3D. That would have also helped. But unfortunately, despite my love of it, we haven't seen many games try to do this kind of hinterland gameplay, or have done it at an elevated take. There is a game that I looked at, I think earlier in 2016, whose name escapes me, that I said was Hinterland-esque, but it still didn't have that what I wanted, which is the gameplay loop of the city building impacting the ARPG and vice versa. And with that said, for anyone watching this right now, if you know of a game that is Hinterland-like, or you are working on one, please let me know, because I would love to play a game like this. And I have gotten really good at this game. If we come over here to the scores, I have beaten this game on some of the hardest, on the absolute hardest settings to get the best scores possible. As you can see up there at like 68,000 was my best. But with that said, to wrap up this quick look, or this Dissecting Design on Hinterland, this is yet another example of a game built on multiple system or multi-system design, with two genres that typically don't go together, with the passive city building coupled with the fast pace of an ARPG. And it works. Like I said, I can play this game and sit and just, go out for 40-50 minutes like it's nothing. But that's because I fell in love with this game. And for people watching it today, this is a tough game to love due to how simplistic the systems were, and the fact that it doesn't have a really amazing presentation to it once you get into it. And this is a great example, again, of being able to understand or figure out just what you want to get out of your gameplay. Some game designs can really be stretched out and grown to be worth $40, $50. Other times you may have a game that the design may only afford maybe like an hour or two of content before it gets very repetitive. But when it comes to games built on procedural generation and replayability, you really do need to go all or nothing. Because like I said, a fully developed Hinterland, especially today, could have been a fantastic title. But the limitations here, due to what they are aiming for, just tend to cut this game off at the kneecaps. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think Hinterland came out at the wrong time. If this game was developed like 2 to 3 years in the future, maybe around the time of early access and crowdfunding to really grow it out and make it better, I think this could have been a standout game from Tilted Mill. But sadly, this was one of the last games for the company before they kind of, unfortunately, died a slow death. But with that said, thank you so much for watching this week's Dissecting Design, as I took a look back at one of my all-time favorites. If you're new, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games, with Dissecting Design pieces going up every Monday. So until next time, have a great night, and hopefully we'll review or we'll take a look at a game that sold or did a lot better in the market next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and come back nightly around 10 Eastern for regular game streams. For a collection of my writings as well as weekly podcasts on game design topics, be sure to check out game-wisdom.com. You can follow me on Twitter at GWBicer for updates from me throughout the day. And be sure to check out our Patreon campaign. You can find us on Patreon under GWBicer for ways to not only support Game Wisdom, but you can get access to our Discord channel where we'll talk game design topics, as well as allow you to vote for our Saturday night grab bag stream. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the next video here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel.